Greetings, brother Kwabena. Welcome to the Black Health Report. All right, so today we're going to be dealing with a crazy situation going on with this Netflix racist Good Times reboot. So we're going to be dealing with that and let people know what's happening. I know some people have been following, some people have not. So what's happening? Actually happening with this racist Netflix reboot where people are talking about cutting out Netflix and protesting and all of those things. So what's actually happening?
And Netflix released this trailer 50th year after the debut of the classic sitcom Good Times. They released this trailer in March for an animated reboot of Good Times that they subsequently called Good Times Black Again. And right away, it met with so much angst, so much disapproval. People were like tripping. What are y'all doing with this? What's the end goal here? It was very embarrassing. Actually, it's dangerous. It got them still living in the same project apartment that they were depicted living in 50 years ago in what was called Cabrini Green high rises that don't even exist anymore. And it was the trailer. I mean, I'll just kick it with the trailer. The trailer was so bad, man. 2-year-old baby slinging drugs. One of the dudes portraying Junior, I guess portraying like a JJ type character, can't pass the 10th grade. So his teacher has hard liquor, a flask of hard liquor, cigarettes, talking about look at his feet size, maybe he can do OnlyFans. This is promoting an individual porn site to a child. It was just horrible. And so the people just lit right into it. They lit right into it. And Netflix didn't care. They released it anyway on April 12th. And when they released it, still so much disdain, so much people pushing back against that, protest in. But most of this was like online, actually, and people talking about it in articles. You had even people like Stephen A. Smith agreeing with Jason Whitlock. Both of them was going in on it. And it's, so it's just horrible. And Netflix, I don't care how much y'all outrage y'all going to come out on this thing. We still going to put it out there. We still going to give you 10 episodes of this garbage. And then again, once it came out, the people start reviewing it. And bro, I got a list right here that's crazy. I just wrote it down. This is a list of these are just podcasts. And this was like within the first week of the trailer of so many podcasts and different people just like saying, we don't want this. We don't want this. It makes me ashamed of being Black. It's the worst thing ever in terms of sitcoms. So we hooked up with the Committee to Eliminate Media Offensive to African People, Cemotap. And they jumped right on it also, man. They were like, no, we're not having this. And so, to cut to the chase, man, June 5th, this is the latest actions that they're doing. Let me just say what we have already done with Cemotap. We've called for people to cancel their Netflix subscriptions, called for people to sign one of the numerous petitions that are out there, but this one calls for the cancellation of this particular sitcom, Good Times Black Again. They got the nerve to call it Black Again. Call for the cancellation of it. Also, we asked the people to write Netflix, call in. So we had a call-in day a couple of weeks ago. And on June 5th, or Wednesday, June 5th, there will be protest demonstrations at the corporate offices of Netflix in New York City and Los Angeles, in the two biggest cities in the United States. The people are coming out to demonstrate. 5 o'clock, New York, 5 o'clock, Los Angeles. In New York is 888 Broadway. That's near 18.
I'm gonna put the flyer up. Actually, we'll be able to cover that. We'll put the flyer up so everybody can see that. But yeah, I did get a chance to look at the first episode in the trailer, and it was horrible. And then I don't know which particular episode they had a roach singing in the shower or something like that. Right next to the shower as the guy was taking a shower. I mean, this is crazy. I mean,
singing the theme song of Good Times. The roach is singing it with the daddy in the shower.
Well, I know that Bernadette Status is her name, I think it is. She had talked to she had an interview with the brother who sung the original Good Times theme, and he was saying that they were supposed to have that roaches was supposed to be in the original song, but they said that will offend Black people, so they took it out. So now they're gonna bring it back. And this is just crazy.
Yeah, and
What I
that's
want to do. Go
It's
ahead.
interesting point because 50 years later, again, I mean, just where they don't care about offending us in any manner now. For 50 years later, they had to hate. But you're right. So yeah, I saw that. I think it was Brother Gilstrap. That was one of the singers, original singers on this song.
Yeah, that's crazy. What I'm gonna do is I'll pull up some slides, and then you can go ahead and comment on what you see. But what I just did is I won't watch any more of it because I can't absorb that kind of stuff. But what I did do is I kind of skimmed through and I took just images of a few shows, and I left the captions on so you can see what these people are actually saying. And I just want to just get some of your opinion on what you actually see on the screen. So we're gonna go ahead and pull a couple of these things up. All right. So so obviously this is the visual of it.
Yeah, they were talking about how they, I know Dr. McIntosh, James McIntosh with Cemotap was breaking down how they got the father's cranium and having this cartoon images of the father is really like Neanderthal type thing. Norman Lear, who's no longer with us physically, executive producer, produced all sorts of ratchet stuff too. Seth MacFarlane. Man, I woke up one morning, one Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, watching the second half of a doubleheader of football. I fell asleep on it and was over. And then there was Seth MacFarlane's Family Guy with the main character saying that Harriet Tubman was doing Gwyneth Paltrow. I shook up out of my slumber, and there it was, Harriet Tubman in her dress with this white woman draped all over her. And I couldn't believe that they would do that to our should be untouchable Harriet Tubman. And I was asking some of my people, I said, "Oh, that's Seth MacFarlane." Man, I was so pissed. And so, hey, I mean, and then he's allowed to do a Good Times, a Reboot after
Well,
that.
well, there's no spiritual connection. It looks like, because from what I've seen that's out there on the net on him, because I did do some research on him. He brags about being an atheist, and he doesn't really care uh, about offending anybody. So obviously. And then Norman Lear, I think he was right on board with this. Because you can see how the buffoonery that he was pushing, and actually Esther Rowe and James Amos had to push back on him about all the buffoonery back then. So I can't say that someone would say, well, he's dead now, and he probably wouldn't have been for it. No, he would have been for it. He was
Oh
exactly.
yeah, he was with it. He was with it. He was doing a Chappelle show. And there was a couple other recent ratchet stuff he was doing before he left here. Yeah, no love, respect for that dude, man. No, he
And
can't. He's not. We're not letting him off the hook because he transitioned in December or whenever that was.
yeah. Yeah, so the thing is that we have to. I think we actually have to deal with, as we have to name the names, as Steve Coakley used to say, right?
Yeah.
Name the names, and these particular people, we got to put heat on them, because not only the ones that I put them out first, because these are the Europeans that's behind this menticide and this buffoonery, and um, one of the things that people don't realize is that when you actually portray a person this way, you actually put a target on their back, because you got people all over the world that is actually watching this, and they're saying, "Is this how black people are?" I was talking to uh, a couple brothers. We were talking about how I used to we used to have lock-ins with a lot of the students from all over LA, and they would go up to Wrightwood, and they would be in these cabins, and then they would actually start talking about some of the conflicts that we may have. And this one Latino dude, he was from, I think, El Salvador, I believe, and he was saying that, I didn't, growing up, I didn't like you guys at all. I said, why? He said, because all I saw was you guys, when I watched the rap videos, I see you guys gangbangers. I see you guys. I thought all of you guys were really like that, and so that's why it's important, for whatever image that's being put out, that we should be concerned about that, because you put a target on a person's back when you portray like we're like this whole buffoonery on Good Times. But yeah, so Norman Lear, this guy, and there's others that are involved that I think that they need to be dealt with.
Man, it has worldwide implications, as you said, brother. This is dangerous for them to push that, calling our women bees, dropping N bombs on us constantly, in this cartoon. Which, who watches cartoons? They say it's for adults, but and Stephen Curry, there he is, right there. We would call him Stephen Fetchit Curry for pushing this out.
Yeah, oh yeah,
And
oh yeah.
it's a minstrel show. It's he tried to. I heard one person get him after a game and ask and question him on it. He talked about the pinnacle of the echelon, pretty much pinnacle of sitcoms that Good Times was, but this is an adult, more updated adult version. The dude asked, "Are you gonna be letting your children watch it, or are you gonna watch it with your children?" He said, "No, I'm not gonna watch it with my kids."
Well, I'm a teacher, and whatever they put out there on a cartoon, my students will see it. They can be 10, 11, 12 years of age. When they make a cartoon, they know exactly who they're targeting. I don't care if, and actually, they're focused on them. They're focused on them getting this information. It had really nothing to do with adults. This is about poisoning the minds of the youth that are coming up, and also showing the world that that we're buffoons. Remember Malcolm talked about that. Malcolm said, in order for them to colonize Africa, they have to have these degrading films of black people with their eyes all sticking out and always nervous and always scared. And all. They have to make it seem like we cannot manage ourselves, and this is what's going on here. We can't control anything if we're nothing but buffoons. Who's going to take you seriously? And so Renata Shepherd, Stephen Curry, so they always have. It seems like they always have black people, that are in this.
Yeah, I've seen interviews with her on KBLA, trying to justify it. And her husband, Devon Shepard, I see him at the end of some of the episodes. He's a writer on it. And it's just like, dude, are you really writing this? So
there's some others that have to do with the production of it. So you got Ion Edwards, consulting producer, and also Eric Payton, who's another executive producer.
it's sad, bro. It's sad that we would acquiesce to this. And I'm glad you let off with who you let off, because then you also, halfway you kind of like mentioned Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture. And I always remember him saying, you can't address problems of oppressed people and let the oppressor off the hook. So right on that you did show, Seth MacFarlane. That's why we're going after Sony Pictures and Netflix, because those are the corporations that green light and say it's okay to do this. And these people like the Ian Edwards and really Steph.
And you know what was so interesting is these are actually buddies of Stefan. So he's really got
Buddies of who?
That when I read up on them, they've done a whole lot of projects with Stephen Curry.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. And so that's why it's important, again, like you said, that we name the names, that we point this out, because I was a recent interview with Billy D. Williams, and Billy D. Williams said he thinks people should do what they want to do in terms of the media and arts. Do what you want to do is what he said, or something like that. And a lot of people came down on him, and I agree. People should do what they want to do. However, but we should make it to the point where you don't want to do this because of the consequences you may face if you demean and degrade people, or you do things that are offensive to people. If you put consequences on them, they may not want to do it, or I'm not going to want to do it because I know what I'm gonna have to face if I try to put some crap like this out.
And these are your actors. You're right. And these are your actors, and I don't take them off the hook either. There's an old saying that all money ain't good money, and a role like this. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Barbershop. Remember Barbershop 1 and 2? Cedric the Entertainer coming down on Dr. King and
Rosa Parks.
Yeah, Rosa Parks and Mother Love and a lot of people that we hold dear, and they had no problem throwing them under the bus like that. But no other culture will do that. But these actors, if you that hungry, you need to find another job. If you're gonna have to, sell out your people.
I agree. And people have been giving these actresses and actors, with all the disdain that we've been seeing in a lot of these, like I said, podcasts and articles and things that people have been talking about in the reviews. A lot of them have been big up on the actors and saying these actors are, people who should be respected. But yeah, look at this. This is not funny. This is not funny at all. We have before us right now, in reality, fratricidal conditions that are happening all over the place. African people, every weekend, you just see stories and stories of us getting shot and shooting each other, fights and at fests, at concerts, at parties. where we're shooting each other. And this is what they're putting on here like it's fun. Dr. James McIntosh, again, of Cemotap, points out that this is not satire. People talking about the satire. Real satirists, they would go after the elites. They would go after the elites. They're not attacking the elites here. They're attacking the people who are struggling. This is they're ridiculing us. They're not satirists. They're bullies. The people
Yeah,
are Netflix is a bully.
and they're sitting back smoking the cigars, laughing at us buying it. You know, that's a hustling to survive. I'm just trying to do my job. I'm playing dice.
With the little baby right there, 2-year-old baby depicted as a 2-year-old baby right there. There's a scene in one of these episodes, man, with a 2-year-old baby is who the daddy then kicked out the house is at home. The daddy's coming home, so the mom has to rush him out. And she put the Glock in his diaper, make sure he has the Glock to go out there. You just saw the over sexualization that they're showing also in this film. They got a 12-year-old girl depicted in this sitcom where she has her first cycle while she's in school.
Yeah, actually, that's on here. It's coming up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, there's Eric Payton right there, executive producer. Wow.
and this is supposed to be. And if you look at this, is supposed to be a news announcer, and she was actually on scene, and then they start shooting, so she has to get under the van
Wow.
and just show you, and then you see. Then the next scene he's talking about black folks can't have a day without violence. This is how it is all throughout our communities, right? And then this fool, they have him go to a museum, and he steals something, and then he gets tased, and it's just a lot of stuff that.
Ancient African god Anubis.
And look here, to talk about the schools are closed because it's gang day, because there's so much violence. So children should shelter in place until further notice. And then following that, it says, but Northside schools are open as usual.
Wow.
They're putting all kinds of messages in this. They show the brother eating chicken. Look at all the chicken in his, and he's already overweight. And he's got another brother over there got chicken. And this is what you were talking about.
Wow.
The
He's coming out been shot, mama. Wow.
think I was, and then look what the brothers comes in and says.
Wow. And look at the executive producer there is Erica Huggins. And I was like, oh no, it can't be.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that being.
No, I looked it up right away. That's a white woman who used to work with the record companies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's who that is. I did, I looked it up right away when I saw that. Wow. And they said there's even a depiction of the sister who had her first cycle at school or whatever, that she is writing her schoolwork in the blood from her cycle. Yeah. And again, when you go back to the pedophilia, they have a dream or something that she's having, and she's on stage with these grown women with enhanced rear ends twerking.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that's what we dealing with, brother. So we gonna have to do something. So now you did mention what's happening on Wednesday, right here.
Yes.
Okay, so let me get a full shot of this right here. You want to let us know what's happening on this day? What we dealing with?
Yes, Cemotap. The Cemotap. I don't know if you have the other one too, but Cemotap in New York, Cemotap West, demonstrations at Netflix corporate offices. That's Wednesday, June 5th. This is our first demonstration they're going to have simultaneously, pretty much at 5 o'clock. Well, it's a couple, different time zone, but 5 o'clock in New York, 5 o'clock in Los Angeles, 5808 Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles, just east of Hollywood, 888 Broadway near 18th Street in New York. Come on, people, we got to come out and show them that we're not going to take this. If we just sit back and complain and don't get out there on them, it's going to get worse. It's going to, and they proven, they showed us it can get worse and worse and worse. The people don't want this, brother. They do not. If you go to the trailer, if you just look at the trailer, you can see on YouTube the number of thumbs up that the trailer has. And last I checked, it was about a little bit over 7.6K, 7,600 people gave it a thumbs up. you have to do some manipulating to show the thumbs down. Even though you can hit thumbs down, but you have to do some manipulating of the settings and what have you to see how many thumbs down it got. This thing had about 76,000 thumbs down. 76,000 as compared to 7,600 thumbs up. So the people do not want this. The people are outraged about this. So let's take our outrage and let's do some work. Let's do some work. Let's make them stop. They have a shareholders meeting on the 6th of June. And so these protests in the two largest cities in the United States are going to take place on the 5th.
And you know, I would also say what you read on the bottom there, cancel Netflix Wednesday, June 5th, 2024, because I've had my Netflix probably when they first started. I think they started in 97, but I think I've had it for around 2000. So over 20 years, I've had Netflix, and I'm going to cancel mine on Wednesday. Period. They're gone. You know, and hopefully the people that are watching this will get the same message. Cancel your Netflix. You can use other ways you can get movies or whatever have you. Make a statement. Stand for something. You know what I'm saying? Do something. And I'm taking a stand. Cut out the Netflix. You know, we have to see that they don't respect us. You know, when we talk about Black Lives Matter, but they respect that green. When they start losing that green, then they're saying, well, they're gonna start backstepping. And so that's what we have to do. We have to put the pressure there. We spend so much money at the movie theaters. We spend so much money on Netflix and all these other different third-party apps. We need to cut them out, period. And they need to take that off, take it off the air.
You know, brother, the important thing about is when talking to the brothers from Cemotap about this, and it was right around the time when we were recognizing the anniversary when Dr. King was assassinated April 4th, and Dr. McIntosh was talking about on his last speech on April 3rd, he talked about these economic sanctions and talked about how you got to hit them where their money is. And then I talked to famed attorney LeGrand Clegg, activist brother for years. He started talking about the same thing, how Dr. King was dealing with how we have to put economic sanctions on these corporations. And they gave the examples. I was like, brother, y'all we're talking about the same thing. And so you're so right. We have to cancel your Netflix. You don't need that. There was one sister, I talked about so many people on all these different podcasts and who are going in on this sitcom, and people saying, well, yeah, I'm talking about all ages. There's one young sister was saying, don't even hate watch it. She said, don't hate watch it. She named, and I wish I need to find it again, but she named a couple of ways you can watch this stuff to without paying for that. You know, the youth be having the ways to do that thing. But she was like, don't watch it. Don't give them no love. So yeah, cancel your Netflix. Cancel it on the 5th. That's a great day to do it too.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I've seen enough to know that I don't need to watch it no more. They can keep on putting episodes out. We just ain't gonna watch it. They can take these episodes and you know where they can put them, because I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm tired of being nice with this. I'm tired of these Negroes trying to make excuses for other Negroes that are actually supporting this, and also the racists that are actually putting this out here as well. That's why I showed you those at the very beginning. You can see the European involvement in this, and they always get some token blacks to be able to get other black people to support it. People like Stephon Curry. I like him on the basketball court, but as far as his mind is gone, and you can tell he has no consciousness. And so this is something that we have to acknowledge, and we know it, and so we have to put heat on these foods, because if not, what's coming next?
Exactly.
What you know what I'm saying? This is bad enough. What they gonna do next? They're gonna have us eating watermelon and picking cotton again. I mean, what are they gonna do? What more can they do?
There's a segment in this where the father has a whip, and the people who were reviewing it said they didn't understand why he had the whip, but he had the whip in the kitchen and flings it and strikes his son in the face with the whip, so his son's laid out. And he said this had nothing to do with even the stupid episode that this is on.
That's great. That's great.
Just, I mean, they will go even with the music piece. A sister asked me a question in one of the presentations we were giving. Said, Kwabena, you think this can get any worse? That was a great question. I said, yes, it can, and it has. It's gotten worse. So no, you're so right. If we don't stop them, they're going to continue and continue. And when Cemotap had this form, one of the first forms that I wrote this down. There's a thing called learned hopelessness. You lose so much that you give up fighting. So we got to break away. This is an example of us getting away from that learned hopelessness that they have so many of us in. the work and organizing that Cemotap is doing to confront and demand that Netflix cancel and cancel it, no season, no next season, and remove right now, immediately, those 10 episodes that you got up there and get rid of this forever.
Yeah. They're gone.
And don't
Okay,
try it again.
Yeah.
But so we got to check them. And Baba Zaki Baruti out of St. Louis, elder, he's done the same thing. Brother Siddiqui out of Boston, he's done the same thing. We got to check them. We got to demand that we get respected, that they respect us. And the main ones who are pushing us, like I said, like you showed them first on this clip, the Seth MacFarlanes, the Norman Lears, even in their grave doing it to us, bro.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, hey, my brother, we said we were gonna be short. Yeah, I know we ended up being 30 minutes. The 30-minute mark now. So, but good information. I appreciate all the work that you do, and we just gotta stay with it, because we have a lot of people that I think we talked about. It's a lot of people that are frustrated, where they don't feel that they. Especially those that have been in this struggle for a long time, and to actually see where we are now and all the work that they put in is, and I can see that it's almost like all this work I've put in, all the sacrifice I've put in, where are my people now? Did I make an impact to be able to move them? And I'm gonna be a little optimistic when I'm looking at some of the young people that are coming up right now. It's in them. It's in their it's in them. It's in their soul. We just got to bring it on up out of them. And some of our people that are already stuck in their mind on where they're going to go, we just hope that they can come around. But we just got to stay with our position so that they can come around.
Got to stay strong, brother.
Yeah,
stay strong. We need the people out here with us, bro, in LA on the 5th, in New York on the 5th.
We'll be out there with you guys, most definitely. We cannot lay down on this one, because this is one of the biggest slaps in the face I've seen in the last 5 years when it comes to what they're putting out there as far as in the on the screen, and this is just crazy. So yeah, most definitely we'll see you out there, brother, if you're able to make it, and we most definitely gonna fight back on this. All right. We'll see you We'll see you soon, and everybody out there, keep fighting. At the same time, one love.
One love.
All right, brother.